He traveled the world and worked hard in a field that would one day attain global importance. He received many awards and recognitions for his work in the field of social change. He campaigned for universal suffrage in Bermuda. His name was Roosevelt Brown, but he went by the name Dr. Pauulu Kamarakafego. He was born in Bermuda on November the 28th, 1932, but his destiny went far beyond these shores, and within a few decades, his career would span the globe. Dr. Kamarakafego's education began at Howard Academy, a school that closed many years ago in Bermuda. His career as a human rights campaigner began after he left Bermuda for his studies at New York University in 1951. He continued his studies in South Carolina and North Carolina in 1955 and 1956. He then got a PhD at the California Institute of Technology in 1959. In the 1960s, he returned to Bermuda to campaign for universal suffrage. As a member of the PLP, he won a seat in Parliament in 1968. The following year, he organized an international Black Power conference in Bermuda. Militants and radicals were invited from all over the Caribbean and the U.S. The conference caused considerable alarm across the island, but it went off quietly. In 1972, Dr. Kamarakafego stepped down from Parliament and left Bermuda for a lifelong journey traveling the world, spreading the word of equality and social justice. But despite the many demands of his dream of social equality, he still found the time for a parallel career in the field of sustainable living systems. Dr. Kamarakafego spent many years in Africa, where he worked on sustainable drinking projects and sustainable construction. So Dr. Kamarakafego worked in the fields of sustainable energy and building materials before those fields became as important as they are today. His work earned him the Best Practices Award for Outstanding Achievements in the field of ecological engineering from the United Nations in 1996. He was also the director of the Pan-Africa Movement for the United Nations Economic and Social Council. He was also the international coordinator of the International Network of Small Island Developing States of Non-Governmental Organizations and Indigenous People, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Caribbean, Atlantic Mediterranean, and Arctic regions, and the diaspora. At the Southern Non-Governmental Organization Summit held in Algeria in 2002, he was honored with an award as an eminent person in recognition for his long-standing commitment to the principles and cause of sustainable development. Dr. Kamarakafego received many awards in his long career, which circled the globe. In 1981, the Republic of Vanuatu awarded him the Citizens Independent Medal for assisting Vanuatu on its road to independence. In Bermuda, he was honored by the Bermuda Anti-Apartheid Group and the National Association for Reconciliation. He served as a member of the Executive Advisory Board of the W.E.B. Du Bois Foundation, the Center for Development of International Law, and Steering Committee of the UN World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg in 2002. In 1992, he was one of the recipients of the Outstanding Human Rights Award, presented by the Human Rights Commission of Bermuda. And in 1996, he received the Best Practices for Human Settlements Award, presented in Istanbul at Habitat 2, for designing and building water storage tanks and houses with bamboo, cement, sand, and stones. In 2002, he was listed in Who's Who in the 21st Century for outstanding achievements in the field of ecological engineering by the International Biographical Centre in Cambridge, England. Dr. Pauulu Kamarakafego, aka Roosevelt Brown, died in 2007 at the age of 72 after a long career selflessly promoting the cause of social justice. He had many friends and admirers, and is said to be survived by many children who admire and recognize the importance of his contribution to social justice in the world today. So important were his achievements that his face now graces a 35-cent stamp minted by the Bermuda government in his honor. Dr. Kamarakafego was very much admired by Dr. Ewart Brown, Bermuda's recent premier. Dr. Brown called him a citizen of the world whose homeland, Bermuda, was just too small for his intellect and desire to serve.